Business from the City Council, Councilmember Buckland.
SB1. So down in the vast halls of Sacramento, Assemblyman Travis Allen, who is running for governor, I believe, is trying to reverse SB1. So as we look for what the answer to funding our roads are, be mindful that the funds that we're currently using do have to go through programmed systems to be able to use those monies, whether it be through SACOG, whether it be state monies, whether it be federal money or Caltrans dollars, or local money to meet the needs that we have over a long period of time. I attended the Regional Waste Management Authority meeting on behalf of our absent normal member, Vice Mayor Ditball. She seems to have thrown this one at me, but I loved being there because it was great. It was a great opportunity to sit down. But what I want to bring forward to the public tonight is the coupons for free tire disposal are now available. And Yuba and Sutter County residents can now request a coupon for free drop-off of up to 20 residentially generated passenger tire or light truck tires per household for rims up to 17 inches in diameter. Coupons are available on a first-come, first-served basis and while supplies last, and they expire 30 days from the date issued. A valid coupon must be presented when the waste tires are delivered to the drop-off location. Tires do not need to be removed from the rims. For more information, you can contact the Regional Waste Management Authority weekdays between 8 noon and 1 and 5. Their number is 634-6890. If you need any more information, you can either locate it on the web or by calling the city, and we'll provide you the additional information. Also, today's Tuesday. How time flies when you're having fun. I was at a SACOG meeting yesterday down in Sacramento for most of the morning. And it was our Government Relations and Public Affairs Committee meeting. Much of what we were looking at was updating population and economic projections for our 2020 Metropolitan Transportation Plans. Those have to be updated every 5 years, and we're looking at more reasonable numbers for our regional populations. Just 10 years ago, it was projected by this time we would have seen an additional 1 million people in the region. That fell short by about 999,999 people. So the projections weren't overly realistic, and yet we're trying to adjust those.
You're way too kind.
Yeah, for the upcoming plans that we have in place. Then over the weekend, also attended the Yuba Sutter Chamber of Commerce Taste of Yuba Sutter event over in at Peachtree Country Club. About 500 other local citizens were there to partake in the festivities of kind of exploring what our restaurants and our area provides to our community. It was a great event, and that's all I have.
Okay, Councilmember Cardoza.
Alrighty, so we'll start off with meetings. I attended the Yuba City Unified School District Liaison meeting, the Yuba Center Transit Authority meeting, and also attended the Yuba City Unified School District Strategic Planning meeting with Vice Mayor Diball and Mayor Cleveland. For chamber events, I attended a ribbon cutting for Everyday Counts Therapy, attended the 1-year anniversary for Sawyer Sweet Shop on Pluma Street, business connection breakfast, and the topic was helping the homeless. Hopefully we're going to solve this issue sometime in the future. Also, attended the Taste of Yuba City at the Peachtree Country Club with council and staff. Community events and city events. Started off, I attended a neighborhood watch party for the folks on Helen Street with our police department, and it was hosted by Dan and Lana March. We attended the Discovery Shop's 30th anniversary. Mayor Cleveland and I last night attended Mother Goose's preschool 50-year anniversary. I also attended the 25-year anniversary. My kids went there 30 years ago. Attended the Singing John benefit at the fairgrounds, Spaghetti at the fairgrounds. It was a great, wonderful turnout. A lot of people showed up to help Singing John. Attended the swearing in for the PD last week for our new officer, John Coates. And Mayor and Councilman Harris and I attended the swearing in of our new community services officer today, of Jared Hardison. I attended the Calusa Casino's 5th annual celebrity golf tournament, and that was in help for the United Way. And also, Councilman Harris and I attended the Golden Ottoman Wine Festival at Bishop's Puckham Farm last weekend. Attended the open house bus tour for the Yuba City Transit Board and Commission workshop. And yesterday, Mayor Cleveland and myself celebrated Keith Martin for 30 years of service with Yuba City Transit. 30 years, and he doesn't plan on retiring anytime soon. I had the honors of being interviewed by 6 Yuba City High School students in their government class, and the topic was life as a council member. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Moving on to Councilmember Harris.
Tell you, anybody that says there's nothing to do around here, talk to Manny there. He always got a list going.
And there's even more.
I'll take off the things that he already mentioned. I had attended a couple things. We had, we're starting an organization called Back the Badge, and it's basically representatives from law enforcement agencies here locally. There's several. CHP has one of them. Organizations set up to benefit officers who have fallen in the line of duty or been injured in the line of duty. And they come together, have fundraisers, and provide them resources in their time of need. So we are starting that here locally, so you can look for some advertised events coming up for that hopefully shortly. It's called Back the Badge. Very proud to be a part of that. Attended the United Way of Golf tournament out there at Peachtree Country Club. It was very successful. And had our 8th annual block party. I don't know if you guys are my friends on Facebook, but really nice photo of my granddaughter on there. The fire department gave her a plastic hat. It's pretty wonderful. But so it's I thank the fire department. Pete's not here for showing up. Also the PD, a very nice kind of a quintessential small town event. It was very pleasant. Let's see here. I was on a training up for 3 weeks, and we had I attended the Angel Diaz comedy benefit out there at Ting's Refuge over here for benefiting the victims of Hurricane Harvey, and that was pretty well attended and a fun time. Pretty funny folks there. And of course, we already mentioned the Taste of Yuba City, very successful event, minus, or I should say, despite the wind. I think a few easy ups, you had to dodge them. They were blowing by randomly, and but it was still nevertheless quite good, a fun time. As a member of the Yuba City Arts Council, it was very interesting. I learned that we had a meeting on the 27th. They received from the California Arts Council, they get a rating, and they received 6 out of 6 points in the various criteria, which allowed them to increase their funding levels from $70,000 to up over $120,000 for this year. Wow. So they're going to see a lot of really nice, fantastic differences and adding some culture and beauty to our community. They have fundraisers, of course. Harvest of the Arts went very well. Their mural project up in Live Oak is going quite well. If you drive up there to get a cup of coffee at Dutch Brothers. I'm a Starbucks guy. You'll see several murals up there, and they do a very good job. They're also starting or continuing with a program called Art in Corrections, and have meetings with both heads, commanders of the various jails, or the 2 jails on both sides of the river, so we can get some inmates involved with doing something productive with their time and adding some beauty to their lives. Also upcoming on November 12th, the Arts Council is having an event called Art and Oysters, and that's at Justin's Kitchen. I'm not quite sure what that means, but I know there's going to be oysters involved, and that's all it takes to get me to show up, I'll tell you that. But they're going to have some art going on and opportunity to have some good food. So that's always a fun time. And their project of portraits of veterans, which is really impressive. If you have an opportunity to see those displayed around town, any veteran can come in and have a really nice, tasteful portrait done of them with a plain background, so it's really focused on them and their personality. So a lot of stuff going on with that. That was one of the main things that I learned or dealt with these last 2 weeks, but it's up and coming and moving in the right direction. It's a fun time.
Vice Mayor Didball.
All right. I've had a crazy last 2 weeks, so I appreciate Councilmember Buckland filling in for me during the waste management meeting. But I did get the opportunity to attend the strategic plan session with the Yuba City Unified School District last week. And basically with the strategic planning, it's actually a group of not only the teachers and administrators, but also community members, leaders, to focus on the vision and the mission. That was our first day, to focus on what the big picture is and what we're looking for our community. And the concerns and challenges we've had in the past and how we want to address those. The following couple of days, that group actually shrunk smaller and smaller because then they focused on the individual steps of how to meet that vision. And we were not a part of that as they broke those down. But it was a really interactive group, which was really nice. They were very vocal, but at the same time, we got a lot done on that first day. It was a full day. So really appreciate that, and just being able to focus on our children for the future, and not only on the education as far as formal education, but also training opportunities, because not every child will succeed in the classroom, but other options and how we can help them succeed just in life and career, and the soft skills that they need in order to move on and be our future leaders as well. I also am getting a lot of the high school students calling and wanting the interviews. So Starbucks is my location to meet with all the kids one by one. And sometimes the group gets into a larger group. But that's been really, really enjoyable. And it really makes you reflect on yourself as well, of why we take this position and why we're here and why we're so passionate about this community. So it's actually a nice reflection on that as well. So, and I appreciate them reaching out to us. But that's about it. The rest of it was a crazy week, and I won't go into those details right now.
Well, thank you very much. I've had quite a busy last few weeks. A lot of phone calls. This time of year, it seems like people want their problems fixed, solutions. I mean, they're just coming out of the woodwork. It's a great thing to be able to serve and actually find ways to and finding solutions through the staff, and they're great help to accommodate the citizens, and it's been excellent. And almost all of them have been satisfied. There are some things that we can't fix because it's the state of California rules, and we just are the pass-through agency that have to enforce it. So we're trying to work through some of those also. I attended the school, Yuba City Unified School Vision and Mission Development. First day, didn't have to do the second and third day, which I heard was going to be even more difficult to narrow things down. Did the Sawyer Suites 1-year celebration there. I will say that I did attend, as many of us did, the annual conference, California League of Cities. I forgot to bring this the last meeting, and there were many things in there. I did want to kind of report a little bit on some of the items that we did discuss in there. Basically, a funding fix for California roads, which was a short abbreviated guide to SB1, and that's where some of the questions and texts and stuff I sent to staff and emails how we are doing on it, where we're at with it. And I knew they would have it in hand, but I just had to at least communicate with them on that. Let's see, I've got the pages marked here on that. I attended also Sacramento Valley Division, California League of Cities, which I'm a board member on that, and attended that. We had our last meeting just this last week up in Chico. So that was, I can say I'm no longer a member if I don't want to be, or I can reapply. Just another thing to add to the list of things to do, but it does keep you well informed on legislation throughout the state of California, because you are in the front line of hearing the reviews and the changes that they make. So it can get exciting. Tools to boost housing and economic development was one I was very much interested in, because we are definitely trying in Yuba City, and somewhat successful at this time, getting some economic boosting, some development occurring, and wanting to make sure that we keep that ball rolling, and we don't do anything that will actually interrupt that. So we're trying to continue there learning. Pension costs, trying to reduce and address the pension costs and different things that are coming up. Staff is doing very well on keeping us up to date on options, and we've made some moves over the last couple of years that actually has caused great moves. According to Standard & Poor's, our rating went to A+, due to the fact that we are making the very good decisions, even though we have some deficiencies in some areas. We're utilizing everything that we do have in such a way that they're very pleased in how we're doing our finances. Let's see here. Fireworks, our ordinance. The fireworks ordinance was actually showcased there in the efforts there for the illegal, trying to address that in the state of California, especially northern at this time. There was a presentation, and I was able to give testimony as to what we have done and the changes that we had, and the involvement of our community volunteers to help us out on that. Had some questions regarding that, how we were able to accomplish it, and I just told them our community got on board with it and made it work. So that was great. Who really controls California water? That was one of the items, and I was curious about that. This was more of a statistical thing. It wasn't political. It was purely statistics. It's who has the control. And I enjoyed that, because I'm a statistics person. And so I enjoyed finding out who actually really controls it, and not why they do, but how, who does. Of course, many other items in this that I attended and kept us busy those 3 days. Other than that, let's see, that's about it for me. I will say that I would like to close and adjourn in memory of Chuck Miller. Pat Miller's husband passed away September 19th. He was a longtime resident of Yuba City, activist for the Sutter County Republican Central Committee, the Sutter County Taxpayers Association, and one of the Tea Party groups. He is survived by his wife, Pat Miller, many grandchildren and multiple great-grandchildren, and his brother, Don. And also would like to close in memory again for the Las Vegas shooting, in the memory of the 59, at least as I know so far, that have passed away, and the 527 injured victims of the shooting. I think some of you may have noticed in the paper, if you get it, that member from Wheatland, young lady, I can't remember the name, she had some serious injuries and from that, and almost got trampled on top of that, but people protected her. And then we have 2 members of a family from our police department, the daughter and I guess boyfriend. Both of them were shot. I heard it was like in their thighs or their legs, and they're treated, they're out, and she's gone down there to be with them in Southern California. But they're doing well at this time. So we do have people that were at that concert that did receive injuries there. Our prayers go with them, and all the victims, and that's just sad. Any other comments from members? Staff, seeing none? Meeting adjourned.